afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome back to Thailand. One put. Wednesday here in Thailand. I hope you're doing well this afternoon here. I'm running a bit late, for instance. I do apologise. I went out for a big run this morning. For instance, typical. I go out for a run, etc. And it's a beautiful sunny day, and we got beautiful blue sky back. So yeah, and a few of my neighbours are home, etc. For instance, so the noise has been quite loud as well. So for instance, so I'm just hoping we've got a bit of quiet period, so I'll be able to talk about what I want to talk about. They've got another neighbour who's doing something. It's like one, they go, and it's like Anyway, so never mind. Let's see where we can go. It's been big news. And it's cheered up a lot of City fans, to say the least. And there's a lot of Manchester news, good news, mostly good news, etc. For instance, this the odd, depending on how you want to take it, really. But there's a lot of things going on. For instance, in the last 24 hours, which I know surprisingly wouldn't. I just think from this. Yeah, I don't know whether it's psychology. I don't know whether it's what's it called, the way people are feeling at the moment. I don't know, but people are so quickly to overreact. When we're not getting Wirtz because couldn't. It's not like we couldn't afford him. It's the fact that, for instance, I'll come back in a second, but it was like the people just whatever, and there was this. Rather than actually trust the process, trust the club. We're dealing with the people who are giving the information out is the media, right? The media tell lies or blow up the truth or say things like this, right? And you've got to read it in between the lines. The Manchester City club doesn't come out, or very rarely comes out and says what it really means. So there's a lot of actually we're reading from the media. Again, for instance, I go on. I listen to the media all the time. For instance, and again, you want a bit of clarity. You want a bit of professionalism. You want a bit of from the media, and you don't get it. And all you get is a lot of a lot of media, for instance, saying what they want to say. For instance, like coming out with all kind of crap and printing stuff. Which is not true, and for instance, or making stuff up, and this is the way it is at the moment, etc. And this is what we've had to put up with. So, for instance, but we gotta trust the club. This club, ever since the ownership have taken over, Sheikh Mansour taken over, and Abu Dhabi United Group, etc. For instance, we basically, for instance, they haven't let us down. So why do we feel that, for instance, they would let us down now? And we've got to trust the guys and trust the thing, And what we need to do is get top, in the top 5, etc. We got top 3, We've got can't say the season's been brilliant in any way whatsoever compared to the standard what Manchester City set themselves. If this is Wolves, if this was Fulham, if this was Brighton, if it was whatever, it would be a good season, top 3. But Manchester City, and it appears that we got 175 million quid from the Prem. So wonderful. What's it called for our efforts? Because again, people say as long as we get top 5. No, well, the higher you go, the more money you get. And Man City I think we got 175.9 million, and Arsenal got 175.6 million. And again, so we've got more money out this season. So when you put it down, it's not to the standard of Manchester City, but with what we've had to deal with, okay, compared to, for instance, this season. So, for instance, we can actually turn around and put our heads above the power pit, etc., and say, listen, the season has not been up to our standards, but we've still got top 3. We're more games than Arsenal, who got second, and they're supposed to be amazing, flying high club. But for instance, we've still got, I think we can be, still got to a final, a record. For instance, even though we were, roundly cheated. Yes, we didn't play absolutely fantastic, but for instance, we were cheated out of a perfectly good opportunity. For instance, where the goalkeeper Dean Henderson should not have been allowed be on the pitch. You never know. The second goalkeeper might have had a worldie. You never know. But again, for instance, we have reasons to be cheerful. Anyway, so. About the season, and again, for instance, we finished. I think we finished on an unbeaten 10, for instance, which is not too bad. this would be normally accepted or understood or whatever. But with the season we've had and the players missing, etc., for instance, and our star man Rodri, and with what's gone on, it is a shock, and it is a shock to the system. It is for a lot of City fans, but we've got to basically say, well, okay, this, and we can go, and there was definitely shoots of recovery. We didn't end up in a tailspin, falling down. We were coming back. For instance, there was, and finishing third. So I think it wasn't all that bad. Listening to like the likes of Michael Owen yesterday, ex-Man United, ex-Liverpool. Oh, I think Man City are dead now. I think they're dead in the water. La, 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 la. For instance, it was on that Righty show, whatever, with that Steven Gerrard's his sister. And oh no, they're finished now. No, it's gone a long way back for Man City. A lot of crap, absolute crap. If this is like the worst season we've had in 10 years, and we're finishing third, what the hell does that make the rest of you lot? And Liverpool finishing by 84. Oh well, they didn't really need to, because it's crap. It really is crap. It's been, and what the sports bar has been saying, it's been a poor Premier League. Yeah, but so anyway, let's move on, because there was some really, really interesting news. Keep the faith, and stop listening to crap. Anyway, so there was a lot of news, and for instance, there was this thing about, for instance, Man City, who are Man City signing now. Now, I thought this was quite funny. I'm going to show you it. It was somebody, because of the Wirtz. Because Wirtz was going to cost £120 million. Liverpool still haven't got that transfer over the deal with. Now, once they go, Man City pulled out because they said it cost too much money. A lot of people poo-pooed Man City for that, especially our own fans. Whatever. But again, as this lovely article says, a take on the Matrix thing, the red pill or the blue pill, what would you rather have? Wirtz, one player, or Cherki, right? Reijnders, Ait Nouri, Garcia for 120 million. Because again, what's it called? Even Man City, all we need is one player. That's fine. Okay, a replacement for KDB, fine. But no, because we need a left back, a right back, centre mid, and for instance, and a goalkeeper, right? Because we still don't know about Ericsson. So paying on one guy. Paying money on one guy, and for instance, getting all these guys in, for instance, getting one, two, three, four, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, five, well, we'll link with others, but 4 at least for 120 million. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense for me. That, because we're getting rid of Kevin De Bruyne's wages. Looks like Jack's on his way. For instance, we'll come back to Jack in a bit. There's also, for instance, Carl Walker's going, for instance, so we're going to be saving money on salaries, but we're also bringing in players, for instance, who are basically, for instance, who are good players, very good players. And I think the smile has returned back to a lot of Man City fans, because they've seen the players we're linked to. Hopefully we'll get over the line. Again, we have this transfer window still not open, but it's, for instance, I heard that Arsenal are in for Morgan Gibbs White now. So, for instance, United still wanted Cherki. So, it's not a done deal, but we can get these guys in, right? For this 120 million for these 4 players, etc. This is a good business. This is smart business. And this is the reason why we've got to trust the club and trust the process, and trust the fact that, for instance, they may know what they're doing. So, for instance, and again, and that's that's why I feel, I think people just got to take a deep breath and stop overdoing it, and stop thinking too much about, what the other teams are doing, etc. For instance, Liverpool are doing, and don't know. We've got to be thinking. So, for instance, I think we've got to take a deep breath. So, let's pop on. Man City earned an established £171.5 million from the Premier League prize money on 23-24 season. That's not too bad money for finishing third. not bad, not bad, not bad. Something going on about Rodri going to Real Madrid and Rodrigo coming to Man City. Total utter nonsense. So these are the things what's it called you cannot listen to. Again, you know, who comes up with that crap like that? Like we're going to get rid of Rodri. You know, and I'm sorry, that's just not happening. Right, okay, so let's have a look at so because again, for instance, if we can get, I've just seen now. I saw Johnny on Typical City doing a Cherki Wirtz comparison. And it appears that Cherki, for instance, was better than and also younger than Wirtz. Not saying he plays in the French league and people poo-poo in the French league, but you would just like for instance he was he looked pretty damn decent. And I've just seen New York Gok, and he's done a video of Cherki, and he's this guy is amazing player. How he runs up defenders and twists and turns, and he can score goals, come in from the right, come in from the left. He's a crosser. He's absolutely fun. And for the price of 25 million quid, yes, there's I think they've got to pay £9 million to the parent company or something like that. They got to pay, for instance, the parent company, but they can get him for but give him 30 million. God, give him 40 million. Because this guy looks absolutely amazing and so exciting, so attacking player, and it looks like the way Man City's going. So, but that would be an absolute brilliant opportunity if we can get this guy in, and I'll be very happy. United were looking at him, but for instance, Man City would. I think it would be. I think he would crown Man City would be very, very interesting. I've got a few departures. The departures are from the training staff. So I know one of them. For instance, what's it called? Can't remember. Carlos Vince is responding to. He's going to. For instance, he's leaving. I think he's been offered a managerial job at Braga. So, for instance, and the Kevin Keegan, for instance, look-alike, 1 million, and for instance, Indigo Dominigo also leaving the club. So, for instance, good wishes to them, and Pep needs a new backroom staff. So we're going to get a brand new lot of stuff in, and this is not the worst thing that's going to happen. This could be a nice fresher up. A new season. It's been a tough season. Getting some new trainers in, getting some, it's another one of our trainers are going to manage our club. So, like we've got Marconi, how many players? So you just, you've got Arteta, for instance, you've got Maresca, for instance, at Chelsea, and now you've got this guy here, Carlos Vincent, as well as Vince Company, going off doing managerials, amazing. Well done. This is the club. It's just, another churning out of, we don't just produce great players, we produce great coaches, and coaches who are highly in demand, and go on to manage clubs. So, but go to them. So it'd be nice to get some new faces in. Yeah. So, but we'll see. For instance, what happens there. Which is fine, and also it'll help Pep as well. We get some new stuff, new people in as well. Now, one of the goalkeepers, come on to goalkeepers, the Espanyol goalkeeper, Juan Garcia, has agreement in principle with Manchester City, as well as offers from Barcelona and Newcastle. Man City continue their pursuit of Dorito Costa in case the move for Garcia fails. The decision with the Spaniards' hands. So we're looking at two player goalkeepers there, for instance. So we've got a good chance of getting, because it looks like we could be losing one or maybe both of our goalkeepers, which would be a disaster. But I would like to see, for instance, at least Everton stay, but we'll see what happens, because again, he hasn't had, nothing's coming in from Saudi. Everybody's saying he's going to Saudi. What we know is that from last season, regardless of what people are saying, again, you've got to stop listening to the media crowd and what people are saying. A proper offer never came through for Edison last season. Okay, so from what Pep was saying as well. So so you've got to be careful. So even though Aliciado or whatever the what's it called after Edison doesn't mean to say that, for instance, an offer is going to come for him. If he does and he wants to go, then go. Then unfortunately, then we have to, But the mere fact that, for instance, we're in and looking at goalkeeper anyway. Right, Tiana Reijnders, right, okay, which has been going on for a while now. It appears that revealed that he had a holiday booked in Ibiza at the beginning of July with the family, has now been cancelled. Okay, so and I believe Man City are sending a team out to Juventus, etc., to get that deal sorted and done. That could be a £60 million deal, but I hope that gets done quite quickly. There was a new guy, for instance, I know, but I didn't know much about him. Again, this was not part of that four I talked to you about before. He was from Club Bruges, and he was a Jupiter Pro League. Ardon Juraski, 22 years old. For instance, he looked pretty decent. Another defender, for instance, midfielder. For instance, but it's a person of interest to Manchester City, but we'll see. Again, if we get in Gibbs, what's it called, Reijnders, as Cherki, and we'll have Rodri, we'll have Garcia, whatever. So I think our midfield will be pretty damn cooked. So I'll be quite happy with that. Yep. And, Ait Nouri from Wolves, for instance, he looks an absolute fantastic defender as well, as we know. And for instance, we've gotten already negotiated with Wolves before. We've got done business before. I know they're losing, for instance, Acuna to United. So, for instance, but there's a lot again. That's really interesting. Napoli Sporting Director General, we're working on the Kevin De Bruyne deal. It looks like that's coming to a finish. And so rather than even though West Ham and Aston Villa were interested in signing Kevin De Bruyne, looks like he's heading to the south coast of Italy, Napoli. I've been there once to a lovely place. I've had Napoli's pizza. Okay. Oh, great. That wasn't great either. I tell you, a Napoli's pizza, so I stood there, and I was on a cruise coming back from Turkey. It wasn't my cup of tea, but Italia, one of my favourite countries. Calvin Phillips, fostering Ait into a tough season. I just want to say thank you to Ipswich Town. Thank you for the fans who are making me and my family have loved at the difficult 2 years. Thank you for the staff and the players. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He looks like he's on his way. For instance, the Gibbs White thing, I said Arsenal now we're interested in him. 70 million. So, for instance, again, I would rather have Cherki over Gibbs White. For instance, Tiana Reijnders over Gibbs White. So, for instance, but again, we are losing English players. So, for instance, we need the English, homegrown players in. So, De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. Yeah, Jack. I'm so disappointed on Jack. What's it called? I wanted him to stay at City. We're getting raked over the coals by the money. Oh, Man City's what's it called? Our play has not worked out with Jack and la la la. That's crap. That really. I've been fantastic treble season, but he never came on, and a lot of it down to injuries. So I'm not buying that at all. Note Forest want Matthias Nunes. No, I think he should stay. I think he's done enough. I think he's an exciting player, right back or whatever, not a midfielder. Maybe right back as his own personal. You never know. But he looked. He was. He's every time I see him, he's still got the bozo gene in him, but still, I think I like Nunes, and I think he's because again, if you look at Cherki, the type of players we want to bring in, we've got Doku, Savino, Cherki, Echeverri. If we bring Cherki, the fast forward attacking players, and Nunes is just that. So I think I will be keeping him. Yeah. Right, Newer, Cherki, yeah. But other than that, it's everything looks rosy in the park now, doesn't it? Not that bad. Yeah, I'm getting buzzed up about the Club World Cup now. For instance, it's going to be a great tournament, and you need to get your head on it. And for instance, the players have gone on. Transfer window opens very soon. Hopefully, we can get some of these. We can get these guys over the line, etc. That's going to be brilliant. This talk about a small squad, Pep said he was joking, and there will be players leaving. Ejak, Kevin, for instance, who go in Calvin Phillips. Yeah, but I do believe so that will reduce our size of our squad, and we'll just bring in. But I think the players, what people think are going to leave, like Silva, Ilkay, Kozovic, I think they'll stay. So, but that's my feeling, and I think they have the right to stay because I think they've helped us in a very, very difficult season. So, and you've got to put these and things into context. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I'll speak to you tomorrow, a lot earlier than what it is now. If we're in this Club World Cup, and I'd rather go for this Club World Cup as our pre-season because it's because these guys in this Club World Cup, these teams in the Club World Cup, they're going to be going for this Club World Cup. The South American teams, this is their Champions League. So this is going to be a tough games we're going to go to. They're not having pre-season crap, okay? We're having proper games. Not like United in Malaysia. He played against Sergio Aguero, I believe. But it's not like... So these are decent teams we're going to be playing and going to be, so it's going to be... But, and if we can get these new players in and they can start blending something together, we'll start the season, a lot sharper than the rest of the, the rest of the Premier League sides. This is what you got to think about, Shoo. It's not always as bad. Take care. Speak to you tomorrow. True blue tie.